Hello, this is how I see it. Why the Islamic State isn't in any rush to attack Israel. This is in 2014. The organization formerly known as ISIS, has made clear that fighting Shiite Muslims is its top priority. By the way, Islamic State, ISIS, IL, Daesh, it's all the same thing. Also known as the United States government. ISIS boldly announces that southern Israel will be attacked in coming days. First of all, why does ISIS have to boldly announce anything? Aren't they a bunch of crazy, ruthless terrorists who kill people indiscriminately all the time? Why does their announcement have to be bold, like the letters used in this title? And also, while we're on the subject of why is ISIS always in perfectly pristine costumes just picked up from the dry cleaners? And why and how are they able to carry out their evil deeds always holding a flag? It's quite amazing, isn't it? ISIS is sure to attack Israel. It's only a matter of time. This is in November of 2015. Are you saying that ISIS has never attacked Israel? ISIS attack in Israel is just a matter of time. December 2015. Yes, I know. We've heard that before. So, what do we have here? Why isn't ISIS attacking Israel? Good question. Let's look at some excuses. Oh, let's see here. They've got some mountains. Let's get a little. If they strike at Israel, artillery and airstrikes will absolutely destroy them. Really? Airstrikes? Are you saying there's no air over anywhere except Israel in which planes can fly? What about this one? Oh, they will first have to gain control and hook up with Daesh. So they're going to have to hook up with themselves. Yes, okay, well, I don't get it. Odds of this happening are slim. Really? They can't hook up with themselves? Okay, let's move on. Do not have the capability to attack Israel. They have trouble holding their own in the Sinai Peninsula. Oh, they're so busy. You know, they're all over there making pottery. If Daesh can't get along the Hamas, they sure as hell won't be able to get along with the PA. A combination of Israel and PA security forces won't allow them to sprout. Oh, that's a good excuse. How about this one? A lone wolf here or there in Israel, but no organized militia would be allowed to exist. Oh, so they don't allow ISIS to exist in Israel, but everybody else in the world is allowing them to exist. ISIS claims attack on Israeli tourists. Ah, here we go. Finally, an ISIS attack in Israel. Oh, yep, there's broken glass. That's definitely an ISIS attack. Whenever you see broken glass, you better look for those black flags waving. Oh, look at this. No casualties. Boy, they sure are lucky over there in Israel. Was the Tel Aviv shooting the first ISIS terrorist attack? Huh. Nope. But it's interesting that they're asking the question that it might be the first terrorist attack in January of this year. And how long has the United States been fighting ISIS and trying to destroy them? 15 months now? Tel Aviv shooting more similar to ISIS copycat attacks than the terror wave in Israel. It looks like it was just a copycat attack anyway. ISIS, here we go, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. ISIS carries out rocket attacks on Israel. That's it, that's what we're looking for. So they are attacking Israel. Oh, whoops, wait a minute, look at this. The missiles landed in an empty field, so it didn't cause injuries or damage. Oh boy, those Israelis sure are lucky. Paris attackers fought in Syria, trained in Israel. Oh, now maybe we're getting to the reasons why ISIS isn't attacking Israel. And by the way, Paris attackers is ISIS. But let's not put the words ISIS in the same sentence with Israel. Here we go. This explains everything. Russia says Israel training ISIS. ISIS stands for Israel Secret Intelligence Service. In other words, why the hell would ISIS attack itself? And I want to read this to you. This is from George Orwell's 1984. On the sixth day of Hate Week, after the processions, the speeches, the shouting, the singing, the banners, the posters, the films, the waxworks, the rolling of drums and squealing of trumpets, the tramp of marching feet, the grinding of the caterpillars of tanks, the roar of massed planes, the booming of guns, after 6 days of this, when the great orgasm was quivering to its climax and the general hatred of Eurasia had boiled up into such delirium that if the crowd could have got their hands on the 2,000 Eurasian war criminals who were to be publicly hanged on the last day of the proceedings, they would unquestionably have torn them to pieces. At just this moment it had been announced that Oceania was not, after all, at war with Eurasia. Oceania was at war with Eastasia. Eurasia was an ally. There was, of course, no admission that any change had taken place. Merely it became known with extreme suddenness and everywhere at once that Eastasia was not Eurasia, and not Eurasia was the enemy. Winston was taking part in a demonstration in one of the central London squares at the moment when it happened. It was night, and the white faces and the scarlet banners were luridly floodlit. The square was packed with several thousand people, including a block of about 1,000 school children in the uniform of the spies. On a scarlet draped platform, an orator of the inner party, a small lean man with disproportionately long arms and a large bald skull over which a few lank locks straggled, was haranguing the crowd. A little Rumpelstiltskin figure, contorted with hatred, he gripped the neck of the microphone with one hand while the other, enormous at the end of a bony arm, clawed the air menacingly above his head. His voice, made metallic by the amplifiers, boomed forth an endless catalogue of atrocities, massacres, deportations, lootings, rapings, torture of prisoners, bombing of civilians, lying propaganda, unjust aggressions, broken treaties. It was almost impossible to listen to him without being first convinced and then maddened. At every few moments the fury of the crowd boiled over and the voice of the speaker was drowned by a wild beast-like roaring that rose uncontrollably from thousands of throats. The most savage yells of all came from the school children. The speech had been proceeding for perhaps 20 minutes when a messenger hurried on to the platform, and a scrap of paper was slipped into the speaker's hand. He unrolled and read it without pausing in his speech. Nothing altered in his voice or manner, and in the content of what he was saying, but suddenly the names were different. Without words said, a wave of understanding rippled through the crowd. Oceania was at war with Eastasia. The next moment there was a tremendous commotion. The banners and posters with which the square was decorated were all wrong. Quite half of them had the wrong faces on them. It was sabotage. The agents of Goldstein had been at work. There was a riotous interlude while posters were ripped from the walls, banners torn to shreds and trampled underfoot. The spies performed prodigies of activity in clambering over the rooftops and cutting the streamers that fluttered from the chimneys. But within 2 or 3 minutes it was all over. The orator, still gripping the neck of the microphone, his shoulders hunched forward, his free hand clawing at the air, had gone straight on with his speech. 1 minute more, and the feral roars of rage were again bursting from the crowd. The hate continued exactly as before, except that the target had been changed.